Hey, I'm Randy and I'm the Cheap Audio Man. Here at the Cheap Audio Man, we don't feel like hi-fi equipment, speakers, amps, DACs, turntables, surround processing AV receivers should cost more than 200 bushel of corn. And these don't. This is the Wharfedale Diamond 11.4 tower speaker. It's discontinued. There's still stock available, but once this beautiful gem is gone, it's gone forever. So grab a cup of coffee, sit down, and let's talk about the Wharfedale Diamond 11.4. Today's sponsor is Steve Guttenberg Statues. When you want to have your favorite YouTube celebrity around you at all times, consider getting one of Steve Guttenberg's statues. They're made by Mattel. I gotta put it back there. I gotta send that to him. Wharfedale Diamond 11.4. Currently, closeout pricing $299 each. That means if you multiply that by 2, it's $598 for the pair, just to make sure there's no confusion. This speaker is still being sold on internet outlets such as Crutchfield for $5.99 a piece. Okay, 50% off. Okay, it has a 1-inch soft dome tweeter, 4 or 4.5, either 4 and 4.5 inch mid-range Kevlar woven fiber woofer, and then 2 6.5 inch Kevlar woven fiber bass drivers. Okay, it's rated on a 42 hertz up to 20,000 hertz. Bottom ported. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Also has dual binding posts, so if you want to bi-amp it or bi-wire it, you have that option. Okay, sensitivity 91 dB. Remember that because that might be cool for tube amp. Well, you don't need to remember it. I'll just tell you. Tube amps. You can drive this thing very well off of a tube amp, such as the Risong A10, which is only 6 watts a channel, but it'll still move these little pretty monster English toffees. I don't know. I'm off today. Okay, 91 dB sensitivity, 8 ohms. All right, so not hard to drive at all. I drove these with the Vista Audio Spark, the Risong A10, and also the Anthem integrated 225. All right. Let's talk about Soundstage and Imaging. Soundstage and Imaging, it's kind of a head scratcher with these. Initially, I pulled them about 3 feet into the room and I had them towed in directly at me, which means the tweeter's getting right at you. All right. They disappeared immediately, which means that the Soundstage felt like it was behind, taller, wider than the speakers. It was a very enjoyable experience. However, when I moved them back about 2 feet, which I thought, well, maybe most people can get these 2 feet, everything collapsed. All right. I used the regular tracks, Wherever I May Roam by Metallica, and also Hello by Adele. When I had them 2 feet, everything just seemed like it was coming out of both speakers, and her voice wasn't centered. It just seemed like it was coming from 2 speakers. When I had them 3 feet, she was locked dead on, and Wherever I May Roam came out way right. It still came right when I had them 2 feet, but it wasn't as good. Now, here's where it gets interesting. When I pushed them back 1 foot against the wall, guess what happened? All that soundstage and imaging and depth came back. It may have not been as deep as when I had them 3 feet from the wall, but there's a sweet spot for these speakers, and luckily it's about 12 inches from the wall because most people can get them 12 inches from the wall. Not everyone can get them 3 foot out from the wall. So even though I had somewhat of a weird experience with Soundstage and Imaging, I really like the fact that 1 foot from the wall, you get almost all the benefits as you would from having them 3 feet from the wall. Let's talk about bass. When you have 2 6.5 inch woven fiber, I always want to say woven fiber Kevlar drivers, you might think you can shoot them with a rifle and that nothing's going to happen because they're made out of Kevlar. I'm here to tell you that that doesn't work. It puts a hole right through the driver and out of the back of your enclosure. That's why I only have one speaker. I'm just kidding. I didn't shoot the speaker, okay? Bass, tone, and texture, as good as it gets for me from a factory speaker at this price. Think about this. This was a $1,200 pair of speakers. Now you can get the same pair of speakers for $600. Bass extension goes down, reportedly down to 42. Here's where it kind of differs, where this bass didn't seem as apparent and as in your face as its little brother, the Diamond 11.2s. I thought this was much more balanced speaker and had much more placement options. This is not a full range speaker, and quite frankly, you're probably going to need a subwoofer if you wanted to use this in home theater. In music applications, I didn't feel like I needed a subwoofer. But bass extension, ironically, wasn't nearly as deep as I thought it would be with these. It still was great. It felt balanced, and there was a smooth roll-off. But I thought they would be deeper than this, but it actually kind of, when I thought about it, I'm like, I'm glad it wasn't. I'm glad it stops around 42 hertz and then rolls off smoothly, because I was afraid that this was going to be very much a bass monster like the 11.2s. And I'm glad it hits where it hits. It's a very good compromise. And whoever designed this, I think they realized that this may be going into a home theater application. So having it stop at 42 or roll off at 42, I think was a very good choice by Wharfedale. They're also really good looking. I don't know, they have a shiny front baffle. This one is in like English walnut. I think the only ones that are left are in white, and they are stunning in white. I had a pair of the 11.2s. Let's talk about mid-range. Mid-range on this speaker is right in my wheelhouse. I like a little bit of richness in my mid-range. Male vocals sounded full and lush. Maybe not nearly as much crazy detail as you can get from some other speakers, but I really enjoyed it. Acoustic guitars, Nirvana, Dumb off the MTV Unplugged. Fantastic. Like a warm leather blanket that you curl up in and then read a leather-bound book on a Sunday afternoon when it's raining. Okay, very good. All right, female vocals not as necessarily as detailed as what you would hear on a different speaker, but this speaker is not maybe as exciting as, like, let's say a Klipsch or an Emotiva, but what you lose in that crazy excitement, you gain in the lower mids and in the bass. Just richness, yumminess. It was great. You can't affect that with the amp that you're using, for sure. The Vista Audio Spark is more of a detailed, very neutral, very clean amp, and it does bring up the treble a bit. Treble. If you're hooking this up to like something that's pretty warm, like a Marantz receiver, or let's say the SVS Soundbase, you're going to add to that richness. And if you're into that, that's going to be awesome, okay? If you add a more detailed amp like the Anthem Integrated 225, really even the Rysong A10, that treble presence and detail is going to be more apparent. Female vocals, again, not as detailed as some of the other speakers, but yet full of body and richness and smoky. Adele's voice on Hello was really good. It was a different flavor from what I've heard, but man, it's good. I would rather have body in vocals and acoustic guitars and things like that, because it seems more natural to me than a huge amount of crazy detail. So mid-range, bass and mid-range on this are fantastic. Let's talk about treble. Let's talk about treble. Treble. Some people would say that this speaker is a bit rolled off on top. And while I may agree with that, it only goes up to 20K. Not only, but it goes up to 20K. This speaker is not as rolled off on top as the Diamond 11.2. So I thought it was a very good compromise between like the 11.2, which is very rich and somewhat can be off-putting to some folks. This is a speaker that the majority of people that turn it on are not going to be offended. While there isn't the extreme amount of detail as something like the Emotiva T2 Plus or T0s, the detail is there, and if you spend enough time with this speaker, you will start to hear that detail come back. If you ABM, you're going to be like, yeah, that's not nearly as detailed or exciting on the treble as something like the Klipsch is, but if you live with it for a while, it's going to be great. Cymbals, Nina Simone, Sinnerman, the 16th notes, plenty of clarity, had a little bit of body. Did it seem completely 100% natural? No, but it did seem very pleasing. This is a speaker that is going to have no listening fatigue. You can listen to it all day long with it pointed directly at you, and it's going to be just fine. Okay, cymbal decay is fantastic. Very nice. Like on Africa by Weezer. What are my final thoughts? Final thoughts are I could not be happier with this speaker. Personally, for me, this is right in my wheelhouse. This is a very, it's not a distinct flavor, but it's a rich, buttery speaker that still has enough detail on the top end to please most people. I love it. I love it. At $600, this used to be $1,200 for the pair. It's $600 right now. The build quality, the sound quality, it's as nuanced as I've heard, and really at $600. Alternatives to this are going to be Emotiva T1 Plus at $700. Different sound signature, okay? Way different. I'm not going to say one is better than the other. I like both sound signatures, but they're a departure from one another. While the T1 Plus is going to be more detail oriented and perhaps a bit more punchy, this is more of a very linear flat speaker with maybe a slight roll off on top. I think they could live well with one another. If you have a second room, or if you are into a more detailed speaker like a Klipsch or an Emotiva, good alternative. And they're not huge, but you could switch these speakers in and out and enjoy two different flavors. The great thing about this speaker is it's $600. At $600, you can go and buy another $600 speaker, whatever you have, and then enjoy two different flavors going forward. I can't recommend this highly enough. There's also a matching center channel speaker, and that's at $199. So if you're paying $600 for these and $200 for that the center, that's $800 for, in my opinion, one of the best LCR left, center, right combos you can get. Fantastic. Fantastic. Huge value. These will be gone soon. I don't know when, but they'll be gone. They're in stock on Amazon. They're also in stock on Crutchfield if you want to pay twice as much. I wouldn't recommend that. I'll go to Amazon. If you buy them from Amazon, I will get a commission off of these. A very nice gentleman out in Las Vegas that runs a hi-fi store sent these to me to review because he saw my 11.2 review. And I love those speakers. This is even better than the 11.2 because it's not nearly as the departure as the 11.2 is. More medium, kind of middle of the road, but still has the richness. Very similar to me as the ELAC debut reference, which incidentally is also $600. So you can get a tower for $600 if you think you will like that sound signature. Okay. If you want to support the channel, please subscribe and like the video. You can also sign up for Patreon, patreon.com/cheapaudioman. Every Sunday night we have patron-only Zooms. We had one last night. It was a lot of fun. You get to meet other people, ask questions, hang out. We had like 30 people in there last night. 30 heads are better than one. Okay. You can also use any of the links, as I said before, or you can sign up for Amazon Music HD for free. Click on the link, scroll down to the bottom, click Try HD. You get 3 months for free. I get a couple of dollars. Some playlists in the description, test tracks, Satanic Panic, leg warmers. It's a lot of fun, okay? So don't binge watch anything on Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, or, I don't know, Twitch. I don't even know what that is. Binge listen through your new Wharfedale Diamond 11.4s that you're getting 50% off, and you're getting them before they go away forever. And fill your soul with happiness. And with that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man.